Hey, welcome everybody. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate you watching this video, but I got to tell you guys, this is a game changer. I got two gentlemen with me that are just brilliant as all get out. One is a lender, one is a realtor, although John technically is a realtor also, but at the end of the day, his primary business is on the lending side, but also owns a company called Social Networks. John, I'll let you put your plugs in at the end and wherever you want to appropriately put them. And Joseph's a real estate agent down in Southern California. And the reason we thought we would do this class is that right before the whole COVID thing happened, Joseph and John did an open house together. They had 158-ish people come through, groups, if you will, buying units, come through. And out of that, they took 6 listing appointments and 19 loan pre-approvals. Those are the accurate numbers, right?
That's right.
Yep.
And so what we thought we would do is kind of walk through. They have a process. John has a process that he goes through as a lender. That's why I think it's really important for you guys to understand that having a great lender who knows what they're doing and how to talk to people is so critical. And so what I wanted to do is really just get out of the way, do an introduction for them, get out of the way and talk about what they did. And John, if you need to share the screen, you can just click the button down there if you want to use PowerPoints or whatever you want to do. So with that, Joseph and John Reyes. So take it away, guys.
Thank you. And John, thank you again for being on here with us to record this. And what I'll share with you is, it's always interesting being out there in the real estate space and finding the right dynamic for an open house so that it doesn't become this 4-hour book reading opportunity, right? It really should be an opportunity for you to drive traffic and convert opportunities in terms of buyers and sellers. And so my partnership with John has been a really fun and interesting one because, on the real estate side, knowing what it takes to engage clients in the open house dynamic, knowing how to manage the conversation piece, and then, of course, find opportunities at the end so that you can convert them. I had a pretty strong process in place. And then here comes Mr. John Stud Reyes that really just put that whole process on steroids on his own and just led to these really incredible opportunities from an open house that we collaborated on. So, John, super appreciate you being on here, man. And I'm going to kind of let you run the show because what you're able to do in an open house is nothing short of incredible. And yet what I love about it is duplicatable, which is really important. So, John, the floor is yours, man. Thanks for being here.
Right on, Joe. And I will say that open house that we had was one that was extremely unique just because of the traffic that we had. But in terms of overall results, I would say that they tend to be par for the course. And maybe we're not generating as many listing opportunities and or opportunities to even connect with prospective buyers. But at the end of the day, my logic is that if you're going to take time from your family and if you're going to be spending it at an open house, well, then you might as well take the time to be able to sharpen your skills and to be able to convert, because if we're able to convert and we're able to have a structured follow-up system, well, then obviously we're doing our best, we're doing our job in order to best facilitate an overall successful business. So with that being said, there's a couple of key things that I would like to break down and to share with each and every person on here. And one of the first things that I want to hit on is this. I want to hit on the fact that when we're out and we're speaking to clients, it's very simple to get caught up with discussing the cool things that we do. And I tell agents often is that it's easy to break down the what. Like, here's what we do in order to bring great value and service to our clients. But I would highly advise that each and every person here first take the time to learn how to articulate, more importantly, the why. So for example, if I'm going to meet a prospective seller at an open house, I can sit there and I can tell them about our cool marketing, but I want to make sure that I'm driving home a couple of key points. So if any of you are taking notes on this, and I highly suggest that you do, because you don't want to be just another agent that's a part of a training for the sake of just listening without putting it into application, because that's just a waste of everybody's time and resources. So in terms of notes, first thing that I would make sure that I hit on is the fact that the majority of most consumers are obsessed with the internet. Most home buyers are out there actively searching online on sites like Trulia, Redfin, Zillow.com, Realtor.com, more actively today than ever before. And chances are your client, your buyer is going to find the home themselves that they're going to send you and to say, hey, what about this home? And I say this because there's nothing wrong in that. We can set up our searches on the MLS, but we know that when somebody wants to buy a home, they tend to be obsessed with the internet. So that's a very important point. And Joe, I know when you and I were at the open house, that's really a big part of the dialogue that we were having. It's the simplicity in making sure that we're able to articulate. People are obsessed with their phones. So, I'm showing on the screen here an image that actually is part of my listing presentation. If I go to a listing presentation, I'm showing this to a client, I'm showing this to a seller, and I'm explaining to them, it's very important that you understand that the market has changed, the real estate business has changed. And what I used to say, and I'm actually telling you verbatim what I tell sellers, what I used to say is I used to say that the real estate business has changed more in the last 5 years than in the previous 50. But now I could honestly say that the real estate business has changed more in the last 3 to 4 months than in the previous 50. And I say this simply because of what's going on right now with the limitations that we have with holding open houses, or consumers maybe not feeling that sense of confidence walking into a stranger's home just simply because of what's going on in the world. And so, Joe, with what I just mentioned there, anything that you want to add to that?
Yeah, I just love that this is a conversation starter, and this is where you're magic. John knows how to engage people in a way that's going to cause them intrigue. Because let's be honest, in an open house, one of the harder things to do is to just slow people down, right? They're afraid to engage with an agent in a lot of cases because they already know what's coming, or they're just, really excited about the home, or they're on to the next one. So engaging them in a way that will just slow the conversation down just a touch, so that now you can start to interact with them in a more meaningful way. That's where you're incredible. And I love that video because it serves two purposes. Number one, clearly that's a great conversation starter with a seller, differentiating yourself in how you would be able to market a home better and different than anybody else. Second, it's a really interesting way to engage a buyer because now we're setting great expectations about where the value proposition is for a real estate professional. Because as we know, it's not about finding your house on the internet or in my little MLS book that no one else can see because it's in my jacket pocket. That's not where our value is. And a lot of people don't know how to get to that conversation quickly. That visual alone, John, and how you leverage it is the game changer in making sure that you're engaging them in the right way.
And I think it's important for us to understand as well. We can't just talk the talk. So I can't just say people are engaged with the internet and not fully embrace the use of digital technology myself. And so very important that we all understand this. So let's just kind of go through the role play on here. So Joe and I are at an open house. People are coming on in. One of the first things that we do is, of course, welcome them into the open house, but we're directing them. We're giving them sense of direction because we're ultimately assuming control of what's happening. And so we assume control by having them sign in. We have them register in. So it doesn't matter if you're registering them in on an iPad or maybe some sort of digital device, or even simply signing in. And the phraseology that I use is we say, welcome. And we say, please sign in. The seller has requested that at least one person from your party sign in before entering the home. And I do this purposely because at the end of the day, it's a psychological ploy. I want them to know that they're in our domain, my domain. They're in our home. And it's going to make it so much easier for us to be able to prompt the next steps. The next thing that we do is we hand them a flyer. So if we have an actual physical flyer, or we can send them, of course, digitally. But if we have a flyer, we want to be able to hand them that flyer, give them some key specifics on that property. And in our case, we told them about the oasis that they had in the backyard, and just give them direction, bedrooms over here, kitchen over here, chef's kitchen over here. And then the wording that I use for them is, go ahead and look around now in this home. If it's vacant, I say, feel free to open up any door, any drawer, make this home your home. If somebody's living there, I'm not going to be as free in saying that. But I want the person to be able to just walk around freely and to look at the home. And now we're being very strategic in our process, because I don't like the approach of being over somebody's shoulder and then pointing something out to them like, now this is a kitchen or this is a bathroom. Because I figure if they're old enough to drive there, they're old enough to know what a kitchen and a bathroom is. Now, if there's any specific key details that we want to share about the kitchen, of course, that's the opportunity for us to be able to do so. Now, at some point, that person's going to need to pass us in order to exit the home. So if you do have a big home with lots of exit points, do your best in order to close those off. And it's like restaurants. You'll have certain restaurants that will do things in order to direct traffic. They want you going out this way. They want you coming in this way. Same approach. And it's because I want them to walk by us. So now as they're walking by us, I have a very specific set of questions that I ask. So again, if you're taking notes on this, one of the first questions that I ask is I say, so what do you think? You ready to pack your bags and move on in? And I say it, I look at them, and I wait for their response. And 9 out of 10 people, they chuckle at that because it's not meant to be actual. If they love the home, fantastic. But it's just meant to be an icebreaker. So then they'll give us a response, and they'll share maybe the rooms are too small, or maybe, you know what, I really like this home. And so I'm asking that as my initial icebreaker. And then from there, I'm asking them, I say, so how long have you been looking for? Every question is specific because I'm trying to identify certain information so that way I can value my client. I can pretty much grade them. Are they like ready to roll right now? Are they somebody that maybe has legitimate interest? They're just not there yet. Or is it somebody that I just want to be able to at least put into my database and have some sort of follow-up with them? So I say, so how long have you been looking for? Joe, why don't we just role play on this?
Let's do it.
So what are you, ready to pack your bags and move on in?
Oh, it's a great house, but I don't think this one is quite what we were looking for.
Okay. So how long have you been looking for?
We've been looking for about 3 months, kind of just looking around the market.
Got it. Now, is it just this area or this community here in Alta Loma, or are there any other surrounding communities and or cities that you have interest in?
You know, we're trying to stick to Rancho Cucamonga, kind of trying to stay, you know, towards the 210 area. We were thinking about North Fontana, but if possible, we'd like to stay in Rancho Cucamonga, Alta Loma.
Got it. Okay. And in your search over the last 3 months, have you found anything that you like? Anything that's gotten your interest?
We've seen quite a few that look pretty awesome, but they're gone pretty fast.
So what's your time frame? Let's just say that you found what you believe to be is the ideal home at the ideal price. What's your time frame to make a move?
We're pretty much in a position to go now. You know, we're with family and we're just looking for the right opportunity to, you know, purchase here so we can stay close to everybody.
Got it. Now, here's one of the things I'd love to do. I'd love to send you on over a text, and in my text, I'm going to include a video that gives you a breakdown on some of the key things that my team and I do to be able to help our clients purchase in today's real estate market, because you said something that's very key. If you find a home that you like or you find a home that you love, chances are there's a lot of other people that love it as well. So there's a couple of key things that we do in order to enhance our clients' chances of getting their offers accepted, really getting your offer to rise to the top. And then if you like what I said, or if you're impressed by it, then just simply send me a text back or give me a call. What's the best number to text you at?
You can send it to my cell phone, 909-559-0168.
So I know you guys couldn't see this on camera because I had it too low, but basically what I do is I grab my phone and I'm literally just staring at my phone the moment I say, what's the best number to text you at?
909.
Yeah, and you try it. Yep. And the funny thing about it is that if you do this, you're putting your attention on that phone. You might have a bit of awkward silence. Don't say anything. And next thing you know, the client will actually give you their cell phone number. Mm-hmm. It's really crazy the way that it works. But now when they give you their cell phone number, you got something that most agents will not get, is that you were freely given their number. So even if they wrote it down, you call them, you're that annoying salesperson, I got their number. And like I said, and if you like what you see, simply send me a text back or give me a call. And then after I got Joe's number, all right, perfect. Boom, 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 got his number. And if what I'll do is I'll follow up with you if I don't hear from you over the weekend, maybe on Monday, just to get your thoughts on the video that I send on over. Now, do mornings, afternoons, or evenings typically work best?
Usually late afternoon, evening.
So 6:30 work for you?
Sure.
Okay, so a couple of key things here, guys. I always do that. That's exactly what I say afterwards. So as I say, if it's on a Saturday or if it's a Sunday, pretend it's a Saturday. If I don't hear from you over the weekend, if it's on Sunday, if I don't hear from you by the end of today, and then what I do is I prompt them to say, I'll follow up with you on Monday, just so that way I can get your thoughts on what I send. Now, remember, I told them that I was going to send a video that gives a breakdown on some of the cool things that my team and I do to be able to help my clients enhance their chances of getting their offers accepted. So it's specific to their conversation, specific to what they just said, which they just said, yeah, we found a couple of homes, but by the time that we like them, they're already gone. So it's very important that you're listening to your clients. And then the other thing is, as well, is depending on the sales price. Like in our case, we were at a $600,000 home. I would ask you, Joe, in that process. So when I say, have you found anything that you like? And then I say, what's your time frame? You're like, I would make a move now. Do you happen to have a home that you would need to sell in order to purchase this one? And if you say yes, then I'm going to say, you know what I'd love to do? I'm going to shoot you on over a text. In my text, I'm going to include a video that gives you a breakdown on some of the key things that my team and I do to be able to help our clients both purchase and to sell real estate in today's aggressive market. And then what I'm sending, just so that way everybody knows, I'll show you an example of what I'm sending here. I'm actually texting them a video that's going to give an introduction to me. And it doesn't need to necessarily be everything, right? When what I mean by that, it doesn't need to be a full-blown video that highlights every facet of my business as much as it is just an intro. So here's a good example of what I sent.
Hi there, my name is John Reyes with Move Fast, Move Now. And chances are, if you're watching this video, we connected either online or in person because you're thinking about buying or selling real estate. I'd love the opportunity to speak with you so that way I can share how my team and I are able to better service our clients by leveraging the latest in digital technology, social media, video, and communication in order to enhance the overall experience for both our buyers and our sellers. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me directly by giving me a call or sending me a text, whatever works best for you. Otherwise, I look forward to following up and having a conversation. Thank you so much and have a great rest of the day.
Hey, John, we didn't see that. So now we did right there. Bob, that was for you.
Okay.
Do you want to go back and replay that? Because we only saw the PowerPoint with the zombies. You want to replay the video real quick?
Yeah, that's okay. Let me see if I could do that one more time. Let me try it this way. Let's see.
And we'll edit that, John, so we're good.
Yeah, no worries. Let's stop sharing there. Actually, stop sharing. I chose to share the application, which was...
Yeah, this time share your whole screen. That way you can go to the video and move back and forth.
Okay. Can you see it now?
No.
Hang on.
Wait,
there you go.
There it comes.
Now try it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you share, one of the things on here, when you share a screen, it actually opens another box that I have to share or add to the stream.
Got it. Okay. Here it is.
Hi there. My name is John Reyes with Move Fast, Move Now. And chances are, if you're watching
We still
still not showing.
or in person,
Just,
because you're thinking
if
about...
that's on YouTube, just go to YouTube and show it.
Yeah, I don't think this is on YouTube. So is there any way that I could just send you the file directly and you could just edit it in?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let's just plan on doing that. Make it easy.
1730. Okay.
buying or selling real estate.
Are you able to see the next slide here?
No, you're not sharing your screen right now. Hold on a sec.
I am actually sharing.
So, John, do you know how that video ends?
There you go.
Yeah, we're right back to where we were.
Are you seeing a slide that says video marketing tips or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We're good.
So you want me to just give a couple points? I was just going to give a couple points on the video.
Just go like you normally would, like the video's done.
Okay. So a couple of key things. If you're looking to take advantage of video marketing, I would highly suggest this is something that you absolutely need. Everybody on this call needs a video, a short, concise 30-second to 60-second video that allows you to introduce yourself. And if I was going to give you some tips, I would say make sure that you're clear in your message. Also, you want to take the time to project. Make sure that somebody can hear you, or better yet, use a microphone. And then the last point is to be valuable. You don't want to just create videos for the sake of creating them if it's not going to offer any legitimate substance to your clientele. Okay, so then I stop there, and then I'll just come right back into the conversation. Cool?
Yep.
Go for it.
So now we did a couple of key things there. We were able to differentiate ourselves from all other agents in the business. I was able to get the agreements from our prospect to allow me to not only have their cell phone number, but to text them and to follow up the very next day. So it puts us in a very competitive position, because now on Monday, when I set an appointment and say, do mornings, afternoons, or evenings typically work best? And if they say something like, oh, the evenings tend to work better for me, later evenings, 6:30 work for you? 6:30 is fine. Perfect. Now we're locked, loaded, ready to go. And I'm going to indeed call them the very next day or on Monday at 6:30, the time that I told them. And then what I'm texting them is I'm actually texting a message that I'm typing out, and I'm either including my video file and or the YouTube link. That way they're able to watch my video. And when I call them, I'm going to say something like, hey, Joe, this is John Reyes calling. We met this last weekend at our open house in the city of Altaloma at that property with that beautiful pool in the backyard. And then by that time, I'm really prompting them to be like, oh, yeah, I remember. Or, yeah, that's great. Hey, John, what's going on? And then I'm going to say, hey, Joe, I sent you a text on Saturday. I'm not too sure if you happen to have a chance to check out that video. Did you watch that?
I did.
Yeah, perfect. And if you say you did, awesome. Sometimes people might be like, you know what? Actually, I didn't see it. Not a problem. I got my phone right here. Hey, you know what I'll do is I'll just shoot the video on over again. That way it's at the top of your text. But all I'm looking for is an in. That's it. That's all I want is an in to be able to follow up with Joe. Now, before Joe leaves, if we're still at the open house, I asked Joe, I said, do you have a home that you need to sell in order to buy this one? He says, yes. And I said, I'm going to send you a text on over. I'm going to shoot a video, and my video is going to give you a breakdown of some of the cool things that my team and I do. The next thing that I'm going to do from there is I'm going to ask him about his home. I'm going to say, so what city is your home in? And then all I want to do, guys, is to be able to engage in some sort of dialogue and to be able to find out more about Joe's home. So here's what happened at the open house itself. And Joe, I haven't even told you this just simply because of all the things that we have going on. But at one of the, or at our open house, above and beyond the leads that we generated, I had a client that showed up from an online lead that had a prompt that had hit me up earlier on a property that we had promoted. And then I invited him on out to the open house, and he actually came out to the open house. So I connected with him. I met him, you know, we're having a back and forth dialogue. And then I just stayed connected. I constantly stayed connected with the guy, and I would keep him informed of what's going on. And then we had an opportunity for us to be able to engage and do some business together. But my point in sharing this is that in me asking questions, I'm like, so tell me about your property. Where's your home at? And as he starts giving me insight, I'm going to ask him, are there a couple of key things that make your home special? A couple of key things that make your home unique? You know, often what I'll tell sellers is this: if you were in a room full of, let's just say 25 qualified buyers, fully qualified buyers, there's no question that they're going to buy a home. The only question is, where are they going to buy? Is it going to be your home or somebody else's? What would you want them to know about your home? And then ideally what we're doing is we're prompting the prospect to talk about their property. So Joe, it's like if you go to a listing presentation, you can walk through somebody's home, maybe you see the upgrades, or you see that home that has that mother-in-law quarters in the backyard. Like every home has something special and unique. And all I want to do is to get that client to talk about it. Because if I can get the client to talk about their home, their property, now it puts me in a position to be able to leverage digital technology so much more aggressively than the competition. And what I'm talking about is this is leading to our opportunity to present and to showcase somebody's home in a way that most agents would only dream about. And what I'm doing is I'm talking specifically about video. So now at this open house, Joe, if you recall, for us, we had as soon as you walked into the left side of the house was like an actual built-in bar.
Yes, sir.
And I would direct them on over to that bar. And then what I would bring out are these beautifully printed guides, these marketing guides that give a breakdown on our marketing plan, which includes professional photography. It includes video, and not just any video with a voiceover where we're highlighting the very details that make properties special, that make homes unique. And then we're also talking about our distribution plan. Of course, we're talking about syndication online, where we're also breaking down some key things that we do to leverage things like consumer direct marketing, which is Facebook targeted advertising or Instagram targeted advertising. And I use phraseology like we are proactive in getting your home in front of as many prospects as possible for us to do, opposed to just simply being reactive, which unfortunately that's the majority of most realtors. They post a home on the internet and they wait. They wait for somebody to respond. They wait for somebody to reply. They wait for somebody to contact you about the property. Instead, we're getting in front of them. And so, Joe, what were your thoughts when we were just sitting there being able to have that back and forth and to be able to showcase these beautifully printed guides? And I know you had said that you would just go right off of maybe like an iPad and show them, which you can have digital guides as well. But just the overall response that we would get from these prospects when they were able to see something in front of them to just reinforce the message that we were conveying.
Well, a couple of things. So to directly answer that question, and then I'm going to take it backwards to make sure people are clear, there's a setup there. So that was really like how you got someone from just the initial engagement, like, all right, we're going to stop and chat with John in the middle of the hallway. When you had something to bring them towards, which is, hey, I've got something I want to show you right over here, and you would walk over. I've watched several people have hesitation to follow you But I actually really like the fact that it is a brochure because you left it on the counter and opened it, where they almost were forced to walk over and start looking at this thing. So you drew them in. And there was a couple of things that were really important about that draw-in. Number one, as you physically move them over, they were deeper into that conversation with you. Number two, what that did is it brought them away from the rest of the group in the crowd, where you can start to talk with them about more specificity and maybe get into some more data that they will maybe aren't willing to just openly share in front of everyone else. So those were the two game changers that I saw you do. But the way that you drew them in was really magical. Now the setup to that, John, because you nailed it. There is a psychological approach to selling that you leverage extremely well. You nailed it when you said when they walk in, you set the tone that you are a professional, you have a certain level of business posture, and you are in control in this dynamic, okay? And that is a very upfront expectation setter. But the great news is, as they start to proceed with the sign-in, you very quickly start to become likable, John, right? I've always been taught in new home sales, which I did for years, that there is also a psychology piece to letting someone go. Let them go and start looking at the home on their own. Why? Because number one, they don't want to have that person over their shoulder, like you mentioned, John. But when you come and engage them again for a second time, and this can literally be minutes later, psychologically, they're meeting you for the second time, not the first time. And in their brains, there is a higher level of trust and there's a little bit more of a familiarity.
Yep.
That's where your engagement worked so extremely well.
And think about this. How is every new home subdivision set up? You're right. All of the new homes that are models, you go, they've got a gate. You got to walk out there. You got to come in. You got to go out. You can go see all their models. And then you got to come back in and go buy them again. Same thing.
It's a glorified open house agent. That's
right.
What they do all day, every day is hold open houses. So that's where that magic comes in and understanding the psychological approach to establishing really good expectations, building a really high level of rapport, and then having the ability, the confidence, and quite frankly, the right to close. And that's where the magic happened, John. So that's how you were able to draw them in extremely well. And I want everyone to understand there's preparation involved here, right? You didn't just show up one day and go, oh, hey, let me kind of find something online real quick to show you. This was all very well prepped and ready for that engagement. And then, of course, you're masterful at that engagement as well. So, yes, I think that draw-in is super powerful. Again, you're drawing them deeper into the conversation and you're drawing them away from the rest of the crowd where you can have just a higher conversation about the realities of their situation.
You know, one of the reasons why we want to ask the questions that we do is because, like I said, we got to filter our clients, right? Because if I have a really good hot prospect, somebody that wants to sell, has to sell, and somebody that says, I'm ready to buy pretty much like now, that puts us in a really good position for us to know we got to hone in our sights on this one here. You know, and if we have a fish like on the hook, right? And not that we're looking at like our clients like fishes, but if we're out fishing and our survival rate is based off of our ability to be able to catch and bring back, if I have that prospect, here's what a lot of agents will do. They'll start the reeling in and then they get sidetracked and then they go over here. And then that client still ends up buying. That fish still ends up getting eaten just by somebody else. And so we want to be able to make sure that we're able to manage and control this. Because now, if I was able to filter out that client, send them my video, get the confirmation that I'm going to follow up with them, have a conversation, and then when I talk about these guides, I'm physically showing them, going right through the pages. Now I can hand this, I can give this to that prospect. So when I follow up with them, it's just more of a standout with them. And so with everything that I just said, I really gave the whole breakdown as to what we do and how we go about bringing value to our clients. Another key thing is this. I'm a real big believer that the majority of most agents not only struggle with, they are not able to fully articulate their value when they're speaking to clients. And many agents, they are subpar in the value that they bring their clients. So we don't automatically get a pat on the back or we don't get no brownie points simply for us having a license. Those days are long gone. We need to make sure that we could look our clients dead in the eye and to feel a sense of confidence that when they say something like, what are you going to charge me in order to sell my home? That we can answer it with a sense of conviction, where their thought is, that's it? Or I get all of this for what you're going to charge me? Because I know, and Joe, you and I have had lots of conversations about this. When we do our jobs well and we deliver our value propositions effectively, we're not sitting there having people try to beat us up about what we're asking for. What happens is that if you're not on the front end with your value, then you're going to get beat up, because now you're going to sit there with your back against the wall, and you're going to be defensive, and you're going to be reactive, and it's going to showcase to your prospect. And that's how you make them feel a sense of uncertainty with you. The reason I say this is because what I will also do is when I take the client to the corner, I'm going to show them examples. When I ask them, tell me about your home, what would you want these buyers to know? And I say, listen, here's what we do for each and every home that we sell. One of the things that we do is we leverage our in-house marketing team. And for you, this could be subcontracted out. Maybe you just hired somebody to do this. But what we're doing is that I'm literally having a videographer come on over to the home, and I'm creating a legit, real video tour of that home. And then I'm having somebody on my team take the time to take the property description and record a voiceover, which you don't need to be fancy with this. This could be you recording your own voiceover. We have somebody that does it for us. Because what I tell clients, and again, my phraseology, I'm giving it to you. I mean, this is worth a lot of money. It's worth what you put in to play. But I'm telling you right now, when I talk to a prospect, I say, listen, I want to leverage my video team to be able to highlight the very details that make your home special, to be able to accentuate the very things that make your property unique. Because then if I'm proactive in promoting your home where people are looking the most, which is directly on their cell phones, this is going to lead us to be able to have more prospects inquire about your home. More inquiries lead to more people walking through your doors. More people walking through your doors leads to more offers. And more offers leads to something that most agents say that they're good at, which they're completely clueless about. And that's being a true negotiator. In order to be a great negotiator, we have to have something called leverage.
Bingo.
If we don't have offers, we don't have leverage. And I'm telling you this because I have so many agents talk about how great negotiators they are. And I'll ask agents, because I'm a trainer. This is what I do. And I know Bob and Joe know this. I train real estate agents all across the United States. California Association of Realtors 7 years in a row. National Association of Realtors, East Coast, Florida, New York. I mean, you name it. And I've been doing trainings for over a decade. And so if I ask an agent, what makes you a good negotiator? What makes you a special negotiator? What tactics do you leverage? 9 out of 10 times, real estate agents will laugh when I say it, or they'll chuckle at the comment or my question, and they'll look around to other agents in their office for a response. Because we are taught by coaches to use these buzzwords. I'm a great negotiator. What does that even mean? If you have no leverage, you don't have much negotiation power. So we got to keep that in mind. And so I say this because now what I do is I actually play a video. I show my clients, because it's the one thing to talk, it's another thing to show. Our industry is so full of smoke and mirrors. Perception is reality to some degree. So much smoke and mirrors that I tell clients, I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. Rather, I'd like to show you what I've done. And so I got a video example here of what we do. I'll show you guys, and if it's able to play on your end, fantastic. If not, I'll just send it to Bob. But I'll prompt it to say, I'll show you guys an example, and you tell me if this actually plays on your end. Are you seeing that?
Welcome to
No, but we can hear it.
East Mulberry Court.
You're not seeing it, right?
Correct.
No, that's
Okay.
okay. Just send us the thing, the file.
Yeah, because see, this is what I do is I show clients, so when they're actually able to see the video, it's meant to be a standout. And for my last two sellers, that when they looked at our marketing plan, literally their responses, different wording, was, I didn't know real estate was sold this way. Or I didn't know agents did this to sell real estate. And I'm quick to clarify, it's not agents, this is what we do. But I'm telling you this because it's not that difficult to do. It's something that you can go on out, and wherever you're at in North America, all across the world, you can probably find somebody that could assist you with this, a videographer or what have you. Or you can buy something like an iPad, download an application, and use the application in order for you to take your professional photos, take your video clips, merge them all together, and record your own voiceover as well. There's really no reason and or an excuse as to why an agent can't offer better marketing right now. And I will tell you the top two reasons why most agents in America, why they say that they can't do these things, is because they say, I don't know how, or I don't have the time. And those are two excuses that all of us on this call, Bob and Joe, I know you would agree with. Nobody cares about our excuses. If you don't have time, well, then maybe you got to get a bigger watch. Or maybe you just need to have more efficiency in you being able to manage your day, because nobody cares that we don't have the time. Because if you don't learn it, your competition will. And you not knowing how. I don't edit my videos. I don't even know how to edit my videos. But you know what I know how to do? I know how to hire somebody that can do it better than me. So hire your weaknesses and leverage your strengths.
And John, I want to add a couple of things.
You'll never produce at a higher level if you try to do everything yourself, right? There's only so many hours in a day. There's only so many deals a year you can do. There's only so much of this that you can do. And so I think you've heard John say the word leverage numerous times. If you don't leverage somebody else's skill and expertise, you'll never get all this stuff done. You'll never compete at the highest levels. And the reality of it is, it's not just local agents in your market. It's the open doors, the offer pads, the discounters. You better have answers for that stuff. And so John kind of touched on that a little bit. So I always call it a USP, unique selling proposition. Hey, why should I hire you to sell my house instead of all the other agents in Southern California? Well, if you can't answer that, well, guess what, folks? They're not going to hire you because you can't answer it. And so you have to understand your value in there. My favorite one, John, when they always go, oh, I'm a good negotiator. Really? Tell me how that works. And they just look at you like, deer in the headlight. Oh, nobody's ever said that to me. Because that's, again, like you said, it's just a catchphrase that we do, and yet nobody understands what negotiation really is.
Right.
Yep. And I'm going to add a couple of things, guys, because there's so much in what you just mentioned there, both of you. So, Bob, you nailed it. What John is able to do in the open house, and this is the magic of his process, he's able to deliver what his USP is before someone even knew they wanted to hear it. So they walk away from the very first interaction with John already completely clear, not only what his USP is, but how incredibly valuable that USP is to what they're trying to accomplish.
Right.
That's the game changer. Sure, you have a great USP. Good on you. Congratulations. But when that USP gets converted into why does that matter to me as the consumer, now you're really speaking to their heart, okay? The other thing I'll mention about the video, John, because this is the power. Okay, number one, you are incredibly bright enough to get from the seller the unique features about their home that they know are great about their house, okay? That's one really important thing to do. Second, when we're talking to consumers about a consumer direct approach, the voiceover is magic because two things. Number one, if someone's just watching a video is amazing. We know that. You're scrolling through a phone and you see a video start to automatically play, that's going to capture the eye. That's great news. However, there is so much detail about real estate that could be overseen by just a video playing. You're not capturing all of maybe the most important parts of a house because it could have solar that they didn't see. There could be, these brand new features about the home that are in between the walls that you don't know about. So number one, that can be delivered on a video. More importantly, and this is the really game changer with the way that John's videos are produced, the voiceover is transcripted on the video. How many people, John, are at work scrolling through their phone? How many people are laying down in bed where their significant other already fell asleep? They're not trying to wake them up with the voice of the video, but they can read on the screen what's happening. So the way that you're able to go from the psychological approach to when someone walks into a house, extracting out great information that is exactly what they want to see in their marketing, delivering your USP before they leave, and then coming together with an entire package on how that's going to play out for them in their home. This is how real estate is converted in real time at an open house. And I'll tell you, just from someone who had the pleasure of watching it in real time, it's magic. There's one other key component I'll add. John and myself and Bob, we all get the abundance mentality. John and I work these opportunities together. Some agents think to themselves, well, I don't want to offer up other opportunities to other people. The reality is, and this is a whole other topic of conversation, but when we leverage the strategies that, for example, that Bob offered us with this open house, our traffic was such that I couldn't capture all those opportunities on my own. John, you probably could not have either. It's just too many people. So now we are in an abundance mentality with the level of traffic that we have. where now we can really dive in. And even though there's a million other people around that's going to help that house sell, we can one-off and really extract out the best buyers and sellers that came through that day. So I just want to make sure everyone's really clear about all the magic they saw in what you just did there, John.
You know, and a good example of one of the things is too is that when we take the time to really make sure that we're putting our best foot forward and we're enhancing our brand by what we showcase to the marketplace. For example, our virtual tours, our video tours, we want them to look fantastic. The photos, we want them to look great. Even the display, the websites, we want everything to look good. The buyer and seller guides that we're giving to clients or sending digitally. This all enhances our brand. And the reason I say this is because the video that we just showed as an example of a home that we would sell, that seller said, I had no idea that real estate was sold this way. The last time he had sold a home was 33 years ago. Not only did we sell his home for $10,000 above the list price, but we received multiple offers in days. Talk about efficiency. And I had an online lead that I had met in person one time, showed him a home, a new builder, which he decided not to buy. And then we maintained casual conversation. I texted him the video link of this property. We ended up getting multiple offers on the property. My client, I have the texts to actually show you. In fact, I'll pull it up here just so that way everybody can see as I go through here. So I'm going to show you the response that he had. So I texted him the video, and this was days after I had it. He pretty much went dark on me. I said, let me know what you think of this. And then you see his response. Hey, John, sorry for the disconnect. And then he said, still intended to buy, just got busy. And I asked him, are you still interested in the new build? And then if you guys see at the top of the screen, he says, the house on YouTube video looks great. And I said, we're about to put it into escrow today because I was actually negotiating with 2 of our top 8 offers at the time. And then he had said, cozy. And I told him we ended up getting 9 offers in this home in 72 hours. And then he's like, wow, that's awesome. Crazy. Congrats. Thank you. Closing price. And so this is what he ends up sending me. He sends me a screenshot of his bank statement to show me. And it even says, just so you know, I have the funds and I'm serious. And if you guys look.
Click on that screen, John. Click on that next screen with the document on there.
Right here?
Yeah, so it shows that screen popping up.
Okay. Yeah, so now are you guys able to see my next screen here?
Let me remove that one. Go ahead and share again now.
Yep.
Okay, because I was actually showing you guys the text.
The text.
No, I saw that. We saw the text thread on the PowerPoint.
Okay, good.
Yep, that looked good.
Okay, because then
go to the next slide down. So on the far left, if you click on number 30, what is that? 26. Click on that one.
I don't see no numbers, man.
On the far left of your PowerPoint slides. Because it's highlighting the one that you're on, but you have to click on the next one down to highlight that one. That makes sense?
No, because I don't see that on the screen. All I see is my PowerPoint. I just see the arrow pointing to the left, arrow pointing to the right for me to be able to annotate on the screen. And it says StreamYard is sharing a window. Stop sharing. So yeah, right now
it's showing up different. Okay, we're good. I mean, we see your text messages, but we see the one that says, "Let me know what you think of this home."
Got it. Okay. So yeah, what it should say is at the top. It says, "Hey, just spoke to her. Put me down for net $495 all cash deal." And then my last screenshot shows email just sent. Got it. Excellent. Signed. Our client ended up buying this property, so we were able to double in the transaction. And our seller, even though he had an opportunity to choose an offer where he could have netted $8,000 more, he chose not to because, like you said, $8,000 isn't going to change my life, and he did not want to wait for a 45-day escrow. He wanted the all-cash transaction with the money already in hand. So our seller is beyond stoked. He gave us the best video testimonial ever that we've recorded. But with this being said, this is why I want to show people these results. And if I'm talking to a prospect like Joe, when we were role playing and you were saying, every house that I see, by the time that I'm following up on it, it's already gone. There's one more video that I have in my arsenal. And I had a client that was a referral to me. This client is a 5-star chef out of Beverly Hills who happens to live out here in the IE, but he stays with and lives with the family out in Beverly Hills Monday through Friday. My point is that he was working with another agent for 4 months, was no more closer to closing on a home than being connected with us. We had just closed his son's home Great result. Got his son his dream home. Sold his home for more than the asking price within days. So we got this referral, and I meet with this guy, and he had told me, you don't know, houses in this area, they never go on the market. And this is my dream home, John. Get me and my mom this home. He's an older gentleman, and his mom's in her 90s. And he's like, get me this home. And so I recorded on video when we delivered the news that his offer was accepted. And this was on a home, just so you guys are aware. And this is what makes a difference. Like if you guys, I'm going to say we're in Southern California. For the sake of sports, we could look at somebody like Kobe Bryant. Like, even if you hated the Lakers, there's no way that you did not have a sense of respect for Kobe's game. But Kobe Bryant was that player that no matter what he did on the court, everything he did was magical. From just his overall stamina to free throws to his speed to his defense to his shots. He was so well-rounded. And my approach to real estate has always been the same. If I'm going to play in the game of real estate, just like Kobe played in the game of basketball, I want to be as multifaceted as I can, and I want to be great in all areas. The reason I say this is because part of our value proposition as a professional is not just simply promoting homes more efficiently and effectively than the competition, but I also want to be able to enhance my clients' chances of getting their offers accepted. And just today, and Joe, I don't know if I shared this with you, just today, we got an offer accepted on a property out here in Rancho, $800,000 home that we were competing with another offer. We got another offer accepted yesterday for $600,000 out here, and that was competing against 5 other offers. We were one of 6. And then we're hoping to get really good news on another property today for $510,000. And this is another multi-offer type deal. But how do we do it? And we're very strategic in our approach, from the way that we submit the offer to the way that the paperwork is structured, from our communication with the fellow agent. And then we get our lender involved, where they pick up the phone, they reach on out. They're not just great lenders. They know how to speak. They know how to articulate their value. They know how to sell the value of the client. And they know how to make people feel a sense of confidence, because if you can instill that in an agent, then you have to remember it's that agent that's going to go talk to their client. And if you're able to make them feel confident in you and your buyer and your lender, you're going to have a much better chance of at least being countered and or getting your offer accepted. And case in point, when I told you I don't like to play in the same sandbox like everybody else, I don't want to sound like every other agent. I don't want to look like every other agent. In fact, I know I don't look like every other agent. My approach in this business tends to be much more casual than most, and just my overall even approach. This is what I wear if I was to meet with a client. I would show up wearing a jersey like this. And I know this is not for everybody. Everybody, you have your own agenda. Mine is more focused on my speech, my delivery, the value propositions that I share with my client, and I'm able to take them off of my attire very quickly. And that's just my thing. That's just the way that I roll. But with that being said, I took the time to submit an offer, and I was so aggressive in telling my team, we will submit amongst one of the best, most professional offers that any agent in the IE, the Inland Empire, has ever submitted. Then I said, no, scratch that, Southern California. Best offer that any agent in Southern California has ever submitted. We were one of 11 offers submitted on a property that had hit the market. It was only on the market for 4 days by a top producing seasoned vet, and we were contingent. We were the only offer that was part of a multiple counter that was contingent. And guess who got their offer accepted? We did. And the agent called me, left me a very nice voicemail, and just said it was your overall professional display. I mean, frankly, we would never accept a counter in this particular situation, but it was just the way that you portrayed your client, yourselves as professionals, that my family and I feel a sense of confidence in accepting your offer. And that's because the agent was representing his family on the sale. They inherited their mom's home, who had just passed, and that was a really big deal for us, because we shouldn't technically have gotten that offer. In such a competitive market, there's so many other opportunities that they could have had. So I learned a long time ago, my first business mentor told me, when you do something that works, you continue to do it. Don't stop it, but rather you strengthen it. And those are key words, because if there's one thing that I notice a lot of agents who do in this business is they'll do something. Maybe it's prospecting. Maybe it's actually cold calling, whatever it is. And you start putting deals in the pipe. You start opening up escrows. And then you stop doing what you did to get those deals in the first place, because now you're busy. And then you close those deals, and then you wonder why you have no more business. So we got to be aware of that as well. It's so key that we're doing our part to hold ourselves accountable. But my point is that I had said, this worked. and I don't want to stop it. I want it done on every offer. And my team said, that's so much time, that's so much work. So we broke it down to the minute. How many minutes does it require for us to be able to introduce or showcase our offers this way? We timed that. And then my logic with my team was, how much time did you spend showing those clients all those homes? How much time was invested just to get the client pre-qualified in the first place or pre-approved in the first place? So if we look at it, it's actually a fraction of the cost in order for us to enhance our clients' chances of not just getting their offers accepted, but also we got to look at efficiency as well. Because
John, did you present that offer in person?
So there was 2 offers that I'm referring to. The first one, we actually emailed on over to the client directly. Okay. And so I had everything printed with the intent on delivering to him. The only reason that we did not deliver it in person is because I had asked too. He's local. It's just because he told me, John, I'm not going to be at the office. So otherwise, we were ready. We had everything printed on our end. But to answer your question, no, we did not. But I had every intention on doing it on that one particular offer, just because I thought, like I said, I went to college. I graduated from Cal Poly Pomona, and I remember putting our reports together. And I said, I want us to pretend or to treat this as if this is a high-level college report, and this is going to be our grade. Like, I want it to be on nice paper, printed. I want it to be bound. But yeah, the way that our offers are delivered are solid. And we also include a video from the client where they're sharing their sentiment about the property itself and how they felt when they first walked through a home. And I don't care what agents say, if they say like that doesn't work. The clients that we've submitted offers to have all acknowledged 100% how their sellers responded to that.
It works all the time. It works all the time. So, one thing that I always like to tell agents is that what you say matters, and trust me, it does. The reality of it is, guys, everything that you do matters. It's the detail that makes the difference, because there's 1.6 million real estate agents out there, realtors, 2 million real estate agents. What differentiates yourself? And it could be those small things like John said, hey, we just put it together like it was a college report, but that's what makes the difference in getting offers accepted, in listing presentations. When John was talking about in the open house and, he started talking to somebody who had a house to sell, he didn't just say, oh, we do Facebook ads. I don't know if you guys caught this or not, but we do consumer direct marketing. What we do is we specifically target people to put your house in front of that have the highest likelihood of buying it, or whatever he said, somewhere along those lines. But it wasn't, the average agent goes in and says, well, we do Facebook ads and we do Instagram ads. You didn't hear John say that. Hey, we do consumer direct marketing. We target people who have this higher likelihood of being able to buy your house, and that's who we want to get your house in front of. Well, that's a whole different story than saying, oh, I do Facebook ads or I do Instagram ads. And it's words matter. The story matters. That video from the client, I can't even tell you how many times we'll have is like, oh, my seller just loved your buyer and their story. It matters, and it matters a lot. And so all these details, folks, I want you to take away from this. Number one is a process. How many times do you hear John and Joseph say it was a process? You can't handle 158 people. Kind of crack me up that they're apologizing. Well, no, we didn't get to everybody. It was kind of a screw up, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, they got 19 pre-approval, 6 listing appointments. Guys, if they only closed half of those, it'd be 13 deals, average price, let's call it $500,000. That was like $150,000 to $200,000 weekend that they did. So when you start to look at your listings as a $200,000 opportunity, right? Because I'll ask an agent, well, how much did you make on that listing? And they'll go, oh, I got 3% at $500,000. I made $15,000. You need to start thinking about this differently. It's not just the listing. It's what you got from that. And so this was, call it a $200,000 listing. The truth is it'll be more than that. So for a $200,000 weekend, how much effort are you willing to put in? How much effort will you do to role play what you say? Because if you notice, John, that's all scripted. John could repeat that in his sleep 1,000 times over. It's rehearsed, but notice how naturally it comes out. The way that happens is because, well, he said it 1,000,000 times, but if you haven't, you have to role play it till you do. And then it can just be natural, and you don't have to sweat, and you don't have to freak out, and you don't have to be nervous because you already know what you're going to say. That's a process that you went through to do this, and that's very critical. So if you're not role-playing these things with people, with somebody, then you need to do that until you get comfortable, till you can do it, and say it with command, right? So when John says, hey, sign in here, seller requires at least one person from your party. Notice how he said it. Well, there was command in his voice. Well, who's in charge now? right? When I used to be in the retail world, I would interview people. My chair was always higher than the person I'm interviewing. Why? I want them to know I'm in charge. We weren't sitting at a couch. We were sitting behind a desk. I'm in charge. And so you do the same things at an open house. Oh, come and follow me. I got to share something with you. What did you just do? You just told them to do it and they did it. Who's in control? And so all that stuff that John went through, it's all very subliminal. You might not have even picked it up, but trust me, it's powerful. And that's part of that process. So
I'm going to add a couple things as well, Bob, if I might.
Go ahead.
I also want to make sure that people get, when John says that and it's true of both of us here, when we're going through a listing agreement, I'm usually compensated 3.5%, sometimes 3% on the listing side alone. There is, when people say, if you're afraid of getting there or you don't feel like you have that value there, if you feel it even in your body, they're going to pick it up. So you better be really excited about your value proposition and super confident about it. That's what wins. When you're working with something that probably no one else offers and you're really excited about it, it's going to come off that way, and it's a smooth transition. I often talk about proper sales skill. Proper sales skill should not be this climactic event and then the magic words happen and something, they either say yes, they say no, and then you drop off. Great sales skill is no climax at all. It's all an assumption close. And John's process really leads to that. So what I'm going to say is this, what I love about John and having the pleasure of working with him, which all of you guys should do, connect with this man. We will make sure that you guys know exactly how to reach out to him on Instagram and all the different ways to connect and just see what he has to offer. What I love is John is one of those people who will share with you how to do it on your own. Grab your cell phone, just make it happen. I'm with you, John, when you said you're too busy and don't have enough time to do those things, because that's me. And I like that. I'm too busy doing other deals. But that doesn't mean I don't get all of the full boatload of that marketing. Why? Because I partner with John in a way where I have the pleasure of leveraging his team as my inside sales team as well. So I would really encourage you guys to do that. But just know with John, he doesn't say, oh, you should do all these things and I'm not going to teach you how to do it. He'll show you how to do it. But I know I would just much rather let him and his professionals take over on that stuff. And just know, John has a full set of tools, because when he creates something that works for him, it's not a secret that he hides near his chest, right? It's something he's willing to give to the rest of the community that is very synergistic for his business as well. So, John, I'd love for you to kind of jump into what some of those tools are, how agents can use them. And again, they can do this on their own if they want. And then there's a great solution to do it with you and just make life that much easier. And trust me, 1,000 times more professional.
Yeah, I would say if there's any agents that are a part of this that are in the Southern California market, we have some really cool resources when it comes to the actual marketing of their home itself. And what I mean by that is, for example, do you guys see on my screen where it says the digital listing suite?
There we go. Now it does. Yep.
All right. So you can go
and
to
real quick, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to jump off now. Is that okay?
Yes.
Do you want to just start that over? John, go ahead and finish up. I apologize, but wrap this up because you guys are rocking, man.
Cool, Joe. Thanks,
Thanks,
man.
guys.
Yeah, so I would say for any of you who are in the Southern California market, one of the cool things that we have is we have a marketing service to be able to help you showcase your listings far more efficiently than what you're doing right now. And you can go to digitallistingsuite.com. There's a video here that you can actually play for your clients. And the whole idea about playing this video is that it's delivering the message that times have changed and consumers are looking for their own real estate online. So we want to be able to leverage the latest in digital technology and video, social media, and all that in order to showcase their homes more effectively. So what we do is we have a suite of services that we offer. And the main package is this, is that it's your legendary package. We're doing professional photos on the property. We're doing a 3D Matterport tour on the home as well. And then what we're also doing is we're doing a video, and as long as the FAA allows, we're going to fly the drone. We're going to get the proper shots that you need in order for everything to look beautiful. The legendary package right now, if you're within a 2-hour drive of our office in Rancho Cucamonga, if you could take advantage of it for $100 off. So basically for the pro price, $595, you get everything that I just mentioned. And once you buy from us, you're part of that pricing. So we're like the gym. If you be one of our first clients for this service, we're going to lock you in. And I say new service because we actually just launched this. Like Joe mentioned, we would use this on our own internally, and then we decided to make this an offering that we could open up to the community, just because we knew that there was a lot of agents that were asking for it. So professional photos, video tour, 3D Matterport is going to be a fantastic resource for you. The other thing that I would recommend as well is we have these buyer and seller guides. These buyer and seller guides that I just showed a bit ago, these were the ones that you can provide and showcase to a client that break down the process of buying a home and selling a home. Those guides, we've already designed them with EXP branding. So we just need your contact information, putting your photo, putting your contact information, so you can get access to these guides. And this is going to be a special price. If you were just coming to us directly off the street, you pay $895 for them. I told Joe and I told Bob that on behalf of EXP and the support from you as agents wanting to work with our company, that we would offer them to you at $500 flat rate. So at $500, you'll be given both the buyer guide and the seller guide. It's digital, but it's print ready. So if you want to send it to a printer, perfect. Or if you want to do like some agents, just use it digitally. But it's a fantastic resource, just so that way you have some insight. I got an agent that just hit me up this last week from Florida, of all places, and she's in the Orlando area, and she wanted to let me know that she had just gotten an offer accepted on a home, that she had sent them this guide. It was an online lead, so it wasn't a hot lead that like nobody knew her. She sent it, and their response after viewing the guide was that they loved it and that they were ready to work for her or with her. And then we got the same thing from a seller. They had met with the seller, and the seller was ready to roll forward with them just by way of what they read. These are the same resources that I use, so there's nothing different at all. It's actually, we wrote them, they're custom, and they're specific to the process of buying and selling. So Bob, unless there's any other questions, I think we covered everything that we were looking to. Is there anything else that you would like for me to add?
I don't think so. I'm gonna close with one more comment. So if you notice, Joseph said he gets 3.5% on the seller side, right? Well, the reason he charges that extra 0.5%, it covers the cost of this. He actually pays a home stager. You know, he pays John. He does those things. Well, the reality of it is, guys, it's not even coming out of Joseph's pocket. It's coming from the seller. And so if somebody says, well, you know, so-and-so would do it for 2% or 1% or whatever, well, it becomes a very simple thing, although it really doesn't happen to him. Full disclosure, Joseph has the best listing presentation I've ever seen of anybody. Anyway, he's just got all that stuff and he builds it up, and he doesn't have to get resistance on that, but he just adds that 0.5 point in on the seller side. So none of this is even costing him to do that. That's the cool part. So John, no, I appreciate you doing that. I appreciate you letting, offering some special pricing to our people. That's awesome. Guys, just like anything else, you have to practice and rehearse the process for doing an open house, converting leads, having the right tools, and all those things. John's a great resource for that stuff. And you can see he totally shares, those thoughts, that scripting, all that stuff. So, John, I really appreciate it. I know you got a lot of stuff going on today, so I appreciate you taking the time out to still do it. And best luck to the family members. And so I appreciate you being here, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, John.